Hello friends, welcome to my channel CBC Tutorials by Anjali Arya. So today I'm going to explain you about empirical formula and molecular formula and what is the relationship between them. So all of you know what's a molecular formula. Like if I ask you to write the molecular formula of ethane, you would say it's C2H6. Okay. If I ask you to write the molecular formula of water, you would say it's H2O. So that is all the molecular formula. For example, if I ask you to write the molecular formula of glucose, you would say it is C6H12 and O6. So those are the molecular formulas and you know very well about it. Now what's an empirical formula? See, empirical formula is just the simplest whole number ratio of your molecular formula. Okay, it is the simplest whole number ratio of your molecular formula. Okay. So if I ask you that this is ethane, okay, this is the molecular formula of ethane. Now if I ask you to find out the empirical formula of ethane, you would say that we have to find out the simplest whole number ratio of ethane. So here the simplest whole number ratio will be, now if you see, it is C2H6, okay, C2H6. Now the ratio of C is to H is 2:6, okay, 2:6. If I ask you to do it into simplest whole number ratio, then you would say it will become 2:3:6. So 1:3 will be the simplest whole number ratio. So your empirical formula will be C1H3. Okay, here it was C2H6. If I did it in simplest whole number ratio, it becomes this 2:6 becomes 1:3 in simplest whole number ratio, and the empirical formula for ethane becomes CH3. Okay, if I ask you to find the empirical formula of the glucose, that is C6H12O6, again we have the ratio that the ratio is 6:12:6. So the simplest ratio of that will be C1H, 6 2s are 12, so C1H2 and O1. Okay, if you have a ratio like the 6:12:6, what will you do? If you want to do it in simplest ratio, you would say 6 1s are 6, so 1:6 2s are 12:1, 6 1s are 6. So that is your simplest whole number ratio of the glucose. So empirical formula is nothing but the simplest whole number ratio of what is the molecular formula given to you. Now these three formulas define, or they tell you about the relationship between the two, molecular formula and empirical formula. Okay, now these three formulas are the basics and only they are needed to solve all the problems that are related to empirical formula. So the first formula, it says that molecular formula is equal to n into empirical formula. Now what is n over here? N can be any whole number. Like for example, if I say, like over here you can see this is the molecular formula C2H6 and this is the empirical formula. If I ask you to change this empirical formula into molecular formula, you would say that I have to multiply something n over here. Okay, suppose if I multiply this C1H3, if I multiply this with 2, suppose, so if I multiply with this with 2, so this becomes C, the down ones become, they have to get multiplied, so it becomes C2 and H, 3 2s are 6, so it becomes C2H6. Okay, so if I multiply this with this particular n number, that is 2, so here our n becomes 2, and if I multiply this n with the empirical formula, it becomes a molecular formula. So that is what is the formula says, that molecular formula is equal to n into empirical formula. So this was our empirical formula, we multiplied it with n over here is 2, it can be 3, it can be 1, it can be 5, it can be any number, n can be any number, we have to find out that. So I multiplied this molecular formula, sorry, this empirical formula over here with n, which was 2 in this case, and I got the answer as C2H6, which is nothing but our molecular formula. So that is the first formula. Now similarly, molecular weight is also equal to n into empirical weight. Okay, like how molecular formula is equal to n into empirical formula, similarly molecular weight is also equal to n into empirical weight. Okay, and you usually use this formula to find out the n, because you know they will give you the molecular weight in the question, you have to find out the empirical weight and you will get the n. So the same formula is in terms of weight. Then one more thing, one more formula given over here is that molecular weight is equal to 2 into vapor density. Now this is important, like in few questions they give you in terms of vapor density. Okay, they give you in terms of vapor density. So in that situations you have to find the molecular weight. They don't give you the molecular weight, they give you the vapor density. So in that situations you have to find out the molecular weight by multiplying it with 2 into vapor density. Okay, so these three formulas are important and they are the basics for solving all kind of questions related to empirical formula. So let's solve some questions for having a better idea about it. So let's solve this question to understand the empirical formula. Now the question says that an acid of molecular mass 104 contains 34.6% of carbon and 3.85% hydrogen and the rest percent is oxygen. So we have to calculate the molecular formula. So for that, first we have to find the empirical formula. And for empirical formula, we have to know about the percentages of different compound, of different elements in that compound. So we don't know that acid. We know that the molecular mass given to us is 104. And in that, carbon is 34.6%, hydrogen is 3.85% and the rest percent is oxygen. So let's see what is the percentage of oxygen. Now if you see 34.6%, that is carbon, plus 3.85% of hydrogen plus some percentage of oxygen will give you 100%, right? Because these three are the percentages of three elements present in that compound. So together their percentages will make up 100%, right? Because they make up some portion of the whole compound. So to find now the percentage of oxygen will be, if we calculate, we get it to be 61.55% of oxygen. So now we have got the three percentages. Now let's see how to calculate the empirical formula. So for finding the empirical formula, you have to make a table like this. Okay, so in this table we have the following columns, and in the first column we have all the elements given to us. So in the question they gave us carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. They were the elements in the compound. We don't know what is the compound. We just know the elements present in it, and they had also given us the percentages of all the compounds in that. So the percentage of carbon in the question was given as 34.6%, and of hydrogen the percentage was given as 3.85, and for oxygen we calculated it to be 61.55. So these were the three percentages of the three elements that were given to us in the question. Now let's see how to calculate the empirical formula. So the second column is of the percentages. The third column we have to make of the atomic mass. Now we know the atomic mass of all the three elements. The first element is carbon. We know the atomic mass of carbon is 12. And then the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. And the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So the third column is of atomic masses, and we know the atomic mass of all the three elements. Now we have to calculate. Now let's see. So the next column says the relative number of moles. So for calculating the relative number of moles, we have to divide this percentage by the atomic mass. Okay, so for carbon the relative number of moles will be 34.6, that is the percentage of carbon given in the question, and that we have to divide by the atomic mass of carbon, that is 12. So similarly we have to do for all the three elements. So when we divide 34.6 by 12, what we get the relative number of moles is 2.88. Okay, 2.88. Now for hydrogen also the relative number of moles will be the percentage, that is 3.85 divided by the atomic mass. Atomic mass is 1. So the relative number of moles will be 3.85. Okay. Now for oxygen, again the same thing, that is 61.55, which is the percentage given to us, divided by the atomic mass, that is 16. And when we do that, we get the answer to be 3.85 again. So these are the relative number of moles that we calculated just now. They are calculated by dividing the percentage given to us in the question by the atomic mass of the particular element. So the same procedure has to be followed in each and every question. So we have got the relative number of moles. Now we need to find the simple ratio. So for simple ratio, check the relative number of moles column and check which is the smallest number in these three values. Now the smallest number in 2.88 and 3.85 is 2.88 itself. So the smallest number in these three values is 2.88. So we have to divide all these values by the smallest value of the relative number of moles. So for simple ratio, we have to do 2.88. We have to divide it by 2.88 because it is the smallest value in all these three values. So when we do that, we get it as 1. Now 3.85 also we have to divide it by 2.88, and over here also we have to divide 3.85 by 2.88 because it is the smallest value in all these three. And when we divide that, we get it as 4 by 3. Try to get it in fractions because it will be better for finding the simplest whole number ratio. Okay, so I'll show you if you get in decimals also how to do it. So first, if you get the answer somewhat in fractions like 4 by 3, 4 by 3, okay. So now you have to do it in simplest whole number ratio. We don't want fractions, we don't want decimals, we want whole number ratios. So for getting the ratios, you can see the denominator is 3. So we will try to cancel that out. So we will try to multiply all these 3 with the number 3. Now if we do that, what we get, the simplest whole number ratio is 3 ones are 3. This 2 gets cancelled, the answer will be 4. Here also the denominator gets cancelled and we get a whole number, that is 4. So this is in case of fractions. Now what if you divide this and you get a decimal like 1.33? If you divide that, you get somewhat the value to be 1.33 in decimals. Now if you have this kind of value, suppose in place of 4 by 3, if you get 1.33, then also we need it in simple whole number ratio. We can't let it remain in this decimal. So we have to change this decimal into simple whole number ratio. So we have to divide it with a number so that it becomes the simplest whole number ratio. So just keep on dividing it with 1, 2, 3 and 4 and so on, and check in which number if you divide it with, it gets the simplest whole number ratio. So suppose if I get 1.33, what will I do? If I get here 1.33, 1.33 and here I get 1. So I have to get the simple whole number ratio. So I will try to divide 1.33 with numbers so that I get a whole number. Now let me divide it with 3. If I do it, 3 3s are 9 and 3 1s are 3. So we get it as 3.99. We can take it to the estimate value to be 4. We can do that rounding off, that is fine in such kind of empirical formula questions. So we get it to be 4. So when we get 1.33 in place of this 4 by 3 and we get here 1, so you have to multiply this all the 3 values with 3 so that you get here the following values. Okay, so when you get decimals also, you try to multiply it with numbers to get the whole number, or you get such a value so that you can round it off. And when you multiply, you have to multiply all the 3 values so that it is even. It's not like if you have to remove the denominator 3, so you will multiply only these 2 and you will leave this. No, you have to multiply all the 3 values along with that one, though it is a whole number. So like that we got our empirical formula. So let's see now what to do. Now the empirical formula, you can see the ratio, simplest whole number ratio for C is 3. So our empirical formula is C3, okay, because C is simplest whole number ratio is 3. So C3, then H4 and O also 4. That is carbon 3, hydrogen 4 and oxygen 4. So that is our empirical formula. Now we have to calculate the molecular formula in the question. So how to calculate the molecular formula? Now we know that the molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula, right? We know that the molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula. That is what we discussed in the starting itself. So for finding out the molecular formula, we have to find out N so that we can multiply it with empirical formula. We got an empirical formula, this one. We have to find out N so that we can multiply it with our empirical formula and get the molecular formula which is asked in the question. So let's find out N. Now we know that N was, we had one more this thing, that molecular weight is equal to N into empirical weight. We had this formula also in the starting. So in the question they had given you that your molecular weight was 104. Now if you rewind the video and if you check that in the question they gave you that your molecular mass or the molecular weight means the same thing, that molecular weight was 104 and N into empirical weight. So this is our empirical formula. We are going to calculate the empirical weight. Similarly, how we calculate the molecular weight. So this is the empirical formula. So for empirical weight, what we have to do is, empirical weight will be, now carbon's atomic mass is 12, so 12 into 3. Similarly, how we do for molecular weight, the same procedure. then hydrogen is 1, so 4 into 1 4, plus oxygen is 16, atomic mass 16, 16 into 4, so it becomes 12 3s are 36 plus 4 plus 64, and when you add all three values you get it to be 104. So your empirical weight comes here to be 104. Now we calculate our n will be equal to this 104 goes that side, and it becomes 104 by 104, which is 1. So we got the value of n to be 1. Now we know that for finding the molecular formula, we just have to multiply that n with our empirical formula. So n is 1. Now 1 into empirical formula, that is C3H4O4. So 1 into that is the same thing, that is the empirical formula itself. So in this situation, your empirical formula only was your molecular formula. However, it is not the same in all the situations, because this time we got n to be 1. So this is a molecular formula question. Now let's solve one more question to have a better understanding. Like in this question, they say that an organic compound is present which has the following composition, percentage composition, and the elements of this compound are carbon, hydrogen and bromine. So the percentages of all the three are 12.36, 2.13 and 85% respectively. But this time, in place of molecular weight, they have given us the vapor density. And I said you that they always don't give you the molecular weight. Like in the previous question, they gave you the molecular weight and it was easy to calculate. But this time they gave you vapor density. So that is also easy. You just have to do 2 into vapor density to find out the molecular weight. Okay, so let's solve. Now we know that the molecular weight is equal to 2 into the vapor density. Okay, the vapor density is given to us. So 2 into vapor density, which is 94, turns out to be 188. So that is our molecular weight. Now we have got our molecular weight, we have to follow the same procedure which we did in the previous question to get the molecular formula. Now let's do it. Right, so I have made the box over here to calculate the empirical formula. So these three elements were given to us in the question, and the following percentages of the following elements were given to us. Now we know the atomic mass of carbon is 12, of hydrogen it is 1, and of bromine it is 80. Okay, we take it to be 80. Now let's calculate the relative number of moles. Now if you remember how we calculated the relative number of moles, we divide the percentage by atomic mass. So 12.36 by atomic mass, that is 12. When we divide it, we get it as 1.03. Okay. Now for hydrogen, 2.13, that is the percentage divided by atomic mass, which is nothing but 2.13 itself. Then for bromine, 85% divided by 80. When we do it, we get somewhat 1.06. So you know the relative number of moles, how to calculate it. We have to divide this percentages by their atomic masses. So like that we get our relative number of moles. Now we got the relative number of moles. Now next step is we have to find the simple ratio. Now for this, check the relative number of moles column. Now check which is the smallest number in all these three. Now in all these three values, if you see, your 1.03 is the smallest value. Okay, so we have to divide all these three values by the smallest value, that is 1.03 in this case. So we are going to divide 1.03 by 1.03, then 2.13 by 1.03, and even 1.06 by 1.03. So we are going to divide all these three values by the smallest value to get the simple ratio. So here we get 1. Now over here we get the answer to be somewhat 2.067. Okay, here we get the answer to be 2.067, but we can round it off, and since we have got a 0 after a point, so we can round it off to 2 and we can write it as 2. Okay, so in such kind of empirical formula questions, you have to focus on rounding off because you need the simple whole number ratio. Okay, and then for when you divide 1.06 by 1.03, you get the value to be 1.029, somewhat like this. So over here also we have 1 0 after the decimal, so we can round it off to 1, and here also we can get the simple ratio to be 1. Now this time we have got the values of simple ratio in the whole numbers only, so just write the numbers as it is. If you would have got it in fractions or any other kind of decimals, we would have multiplied it with numbers to get the simple whole number ratio. But this time, without multiplying itself, we have rounded off and we have got the simple whole number ratio. Sorry, this is 1. So 1, 2 and 1. So our empirical formula, okay, empirical formula will be C is 1 and H is 2 and Br is 1. Okay, so this is our empirical formula. Now we had to calculate the molecular formula. We know that the molecular formula is equal to N into empirical formula, right? So for that we have to find out the N. Now how do we find out an N? We know one more formula, that molecular weight is equal to N into empirical weight. Okay, we know about this formula also. And in our question they gave us that vapor density was 94 and we calculated the molecular weight from that vapor density by multiplying it with 2, and we got the molecular weight to be 188. So 188 is equal to N, that is N we have to find out over here, and then the empirical weight we have to calculate. So over here, if you calculate the empirical weight for this, you get it to be 94. Okay, if you calculate now the empirical weight for this will be C is 1. Okay, C is 1, so C is 12. We know the value of carbon atomic mass. Then hydrogen's atomic mass is 1, so 2 into 1 is 2. Then bromine's atomic mass is 80. Okay, so when we do that, we get it to be 94. So that is what we have taken the empirical weight. So we calculated the empirical weight, like how we calculate the molecular weight, and that turns out to be 94. So let's find out our N, that is 188 by 94, which turns out to be 2. So this time we did not get N to be 1, we got N to be 2. So let's find out the molecular formula. Molecular formula is equal to N, that is 2 into empirical formula. Empirical formula is C1, H2 and Br1. So just multiply these values. So C1 into 2, so 2 ones are 2. Then H was 2, so 2 into 2, 4. Then Br was 1, so 2 into 1, 2. So this is what we have got a molecular formula. Now with this we have solved the questions that are related to empirical formula, and all the questions are based on the same concept. You have to calculate the same diagram for this, you have to calculate the same, you need to form the same, do the same procedure and calculate the empirical formula. So I hope you understood each and every bit in this video, and if you liked it, please press the like button and please do subscribe to my channel CBSE Tutorials. And also if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching my video.